Deion Sanders finds peace as Shilo Sanders faces NFL adversity. Why Coach Prime is relieved his son isn't in Boulder. The NFL can be cruel. For every rookie who rises to the occasion, there's another who learns how sharp the business end of the league can be. This past week, that hard truth landed squarely on Shilo Sanders, son of Hall of Famer Deion Coach Prime Sanders. Shilo's NFL dream hit a major snag in Tampa Bay. After clawing for a spot as an undrafted free agent safety, a single heated moment in the preseason finale against the Buffalo Bills ended his Buccaneers chapter before it could truly begin. The fallout wasn't pretty. On Saturday night, during a second-half special teams snap, Shilo got tangled up with tight end Zach Davidson. The clash escalated quickly. Face mask grabs, shoves, tempers boiling over, and then Shilo threw a punch. That was it. Flags flew, refs tossed him out, and within 24 hours the Buccaneers waived him. Head coach Todd Bowles didn't mince words. Inexcusable. One misstep and just like that, Shilo was unemployed. But while the headlines painted a picture of disaster, his father back in Colorado had a very different take. Asked by Buff Stevie's Mark Johnson if he missed seeing his sons at camp, Deion chuckled, and his response went viral. "I look in the back sometimes, trying to make sure Shilo's on time in their back room back there. Not whatsoever. So you're going to miss them because you're their dad, and that's the only life you've ever known, right? But it's a pleasure not to have to worry about him." In that one moment, Coach Prime revealed something deeper. This wasn't coldness. It was peace. For years, he had carried the dual burden of being both coach and father, responsible for shepherding Shedeur and Shilo through practices, games, and the pressures of college football. Now, with both sons gone from Boulder, he was free to let them fight their own battles. And as for Shilo, Deion knows the young safety is finally learning life on his own terms, even if the lessons sting. Shilo Sanders' punch heard around Tampa. The sequence that led to Shilo's ejection is the kind of preseason moment coaches dread. Special teams snaps are fast, chaotic, and fueled by players desperate to secure roster spots. When Shilo locked up with Davidson, it looked like nothing more than the usual training camp skirmish. But then came the breaking point. Davidson shoved and tugged at Shilo's face mask. Shilo retaliated. He didn't just push, he swung. Instant ejection. National cameras caught it. Social media replayed it endlessly. For a veteran starter, maybe the leash would have been longer. For a rookie undrafted free agent fighting uphill, the punishment was swift and final. By Sunday morning, Tampa Bay had cut ties. It was a brutal reminder. The NFL doesn't wait on anyone. Coach Prime's surprising calm. While fans debated Shilo's future and critics questioned his judgment, Deion Sanders projected nothing but calm. "This too shall pass. Yeah. Just to rock steady. It's going to be all right. God got this. We're Sanders. We're going to have adversity. We're going to go through trials and tribulations. But we always persevere. We always do." For Deion, Shilo's misstep wasn't an ending. It was a chapter. And in some ways, it was a relief. In Boulder, Deion had often expressed frustration with Shilo's habits. One in particular stood out: punctuality. Making sure Shilo's on time in the back room wasn't just a throwaway line. It was a jab at his son's tendency to cut it close during his Buffs days. Now, Deion doesn't have to hover. He doesn't have to balance discipline with fatherhood. That's Shilo's responsibility. And for Coach Prime, that's liberating. A fork in the road: practice squad or Canada. So what comes next? When the 24-hour waiver window closed on August 27th, Shilo's phone stayed silent. No team claimed him. No locker awaited him. The immediate path forward is the NFL's practice squad system. Each team carries 17 slots, including one international player, and practice squad stints often serve as lifelines for players on the edge. For Shilo, Tampa could circle back, or another team could scoop him up, intrigued by his athleticism and bloodline. Practice squad pay is nothing to sneer at. $13,000 a week for rookies, translating to more than $230,000 for a season. It's not a glamorous route, but it keeps him in the league. If not, the CFL's Toronto Argonauts own his exclusive negotiation rights. That door isn't just open, it's waiting. The Canadian game could provide reps, tape, and a chance to reset his professional career, just as it has for countless players who later returned to the NFL. It's not a dream scenario, but it's not a dead end either. Why Deion isn't worried. What makes this story unique is Deion Sanders' outlook. Most parents might panic, pacing their homes when their child's future is uncertain. Not Deion. His confidence borders on prophetic. We're praying that he gets another opportunity to go with a team, but if he doesn't, the plans have already been put forward to what he's going to do next. Shilo's a man of many talents. He's going to be straight. All the Sanders are going to be straight with or without football. It's not arrogance. It's conviction. Deion has always raised his children to believe their identity stretches beyond the field. And in Shilo's case, that perspective matters more than ever. What Shilo brings to the table. Let's be clear. Tampa didn't cut Shilo because he lacked talent. They cut him because of one costly mistake in the wrong moment. During preseason, Shilo notched 4 tackles, showing flashes of physicality and range. Tampa Bay's safety room isn't exactly loaded with depth, hovering near the middle of the league in advanced defensive metrics last season. There was a lane for him. He just didn't get through before the merge point closed. That's life in the NFL. An unforgiving highway where timing matters as much as talent. Shilo's mental battle. Beyond the field, Shilo now faces the kind of mental adversity that defines careers. Will he internalize the cut as a death sentence? Or will he frame it as motivation, fuel to push harder? If history is any indication, he'll fight. Growing up in the Sanders household meant growing up with a father who preaches resilience daily. Adversity is opportunity, Deion often says. And Shilo has lived that mantra before, from his transfer from South Carolina to Jackson State, to his eventual rise in Boulder as a key defensive leader under his father. This setback is just another trial. The bigger picture, why Prime is relieved. In the end, Deion's relief about not having Shilo in Boulder isn't about being glad his son is struggling. It's about letting go. As a coach, he no longer has to juggle fatherly worry with program-building responsibilities. He doesn't have to ride Shilo about punctuality, focus, or accountability. That burden now belongs to Shilo himself. And as a father, he gets to watch his son take ownership of his journey, even if that journey takes him north to Canada or deep into the grind of a practice squad. It's a pleasure not to have to worry about him, Deion said. And that's the essence of growth. A parent stepping back, a son stepping forward. Final word. Shilo's story isn't finished. Shilo Sanders' NFL chapter didn't close in Buffalo. It only turned a page. The preseason punch and subsequent cut will forever be part of his story. But it doesn't define the ending. Practice squads exist. The CFL awaits. And above all, his father's faith remains unshaken. In Boulder, Deion Sanders has locked in on building Colorado into a Big 12 powerhouse. In Tampa or Toronto or somewhere else, Shilo must now build his own legacy. It won't be easy. It won't be clean. But as Coach Prime said, we're Sanders. We're going to have adversity. We're going to go through trials and tribulations. But we always persevere. We always do. The fight continues.